Good afternoon, students. Hope you all are fine. So today we will discuss some more about methods and polymorphism. Hope you all can see. Uh, please reply in the chat box so you can see and hear me. You can also see the PDF. Please, somebody please reply in the chat box that you can see the PDF. Can you see the PDF and hear me, students? Ankumani, can you see? Can you see and hear me?
Yes, sir, yes.
PDF is also visible, right? PDF you can see. So, okay. So something about the methods that in a class, and also something about polymorphism. So something about the main method. So general form we have already studied is public, static, void, main, and string argues. So okay. So the meaning of the keywords now, why they are used. Let us see. Public means this means that the contents of the above block are accessible to all other class. It is the access specifier. So it is accessible. The fact that main method is public says that the method contents of the method, whatever is inside main, are accessible from outside the class. That means from any other class. Okay. Static means that the method being defined applies to the class itself rather than to the object. Okay, so class modifier. Static means that instantiation is not permitted, that we have already studied in our earlier class. So no instances, so you need not you cannot access this with the class name dot operator. And void means the main method does not return any value, it is a type modifier. And string args, it states that the method has one parameter, its name is args, and it is an array of strings. Okay, so the method takes an array of strings, that is the meaning of the part string args. Okay, now some rules about the main method. While declaring the main method, the order of the modifier and access specifier may be interchanged. That means public static void static you can write. Okay. Public static or static public, that can be written. If the return type is void, and void must be specified immediately before the method name. Okay. So void cannot be placed anywhere. It must be along with main. Okay. So the main must be in lowercase, and then parameter list can be in any one of the forms. So normally we follow the second format, string args. So string, then square bracket, then args, or string, then gap, then bracket, and then along with that args. So any one of the three ABC forms is used, but most convenient is the second form, string, gap, args, then bracket. So let us follow the convention itself, but any of the three form is acceptable. The string first letter must be uppercase, and you can give any name regarding args. Okay, so args is a default name that is used in programming practices. So there is no harm if you give ABC, XYZ, whatever, but args is a default name. Then a file name must be the class name. The file name must be the class name of the public class containing the main method. So whatever class contains the main method, and in a program, no matter how many classes are there, main method must be within only one, not more. Okay, so only one main method. So whichever class contains the main method, that should be the class name. That should be the that class name should be used as the file name dot java. Okay, so this part we already know. Just remind me. Now, for example, if you like this, so public class ms then static, then you write no main in Java. Then if you try to execute, so then the class is loaded. The static block contains no main, and then do you get an error message. Okay, so exception. Okay, so in this case, if you execute this program, you will get an error message. Okay, the exception is main, that is java dot lang dot no such method error exception. Okay, method error main. So method main and not available is an error, standard error. Okay, if you try to execute any Java application and that is not applet, of course there are three types of Java applications we mentioned in some earlier class, that applets, applications and servlets. Okay, so whatever we are learning, actually majority of them are applications that does not have main method. The above error message is printed. So following code segment is, you see, the publicity void main string prabhu array, then system.out.println understanding Java in there. So the above code is saved in file name called murti.java, because if the, then you compile murti.java, it is also, it cannot give any error message. If you want to run the method, the Java test, because the compiler can test.class file that not murti.class, how it is possible. Okay, so file name is arbitrary. If you having a non-public class, the class test is not public. So name of the file can be arbitrary. If the code is public class test, you must save the file name for test.java. Okay. Okay. So main summary is that you cannot give any other name. You have to give, if the class name is test, the file name should not be murti.java and it should be test.java. Okay, because Java se murti.java will be not available. So the next important part is the main method also takes an argument. We have already said that string args is a type of argument that can be passed. So now in this coming example, we will see how we can pass arguments to the main method. This is very interesting, and you can get rid of working with those system.readline or in.readline, all those complicated methods for taking input parameters. Okay, let us see how the main method takes example of inputs. This is achieved by passing command line arguments to main. So a command line argument is the information that directly follows the program's name on the command line when it is executed. To access the command line arguments inside a Java program is very easy. They are stored in a string array passed to the main. Okay, so the following program display all the command line arguments. So now suppose this program will take some arguments. So say class cmd. Okay, so obviously the file name will be cmd.java within the public static void main string args. I have already mentioned that args is an array. Okay, and args, the length of the array is not specified. Please remember, the args is an array whose length is not specified. So obviously when it is an array, which we have studied in our earlier lab class also, that array index will start from 0, 1, 2, etc. Here the length is not specified, so you can pass any number of arguments. So if rgas.length equal to 0, system.out.println, no command line input and otherwise. So whenever you run the program, first the program will check whether any argument is passed. So if the length is 0, that means no argument is passed, then it will say no command line input. But otherwise, suppose for integer I equal to 0, I is equal to args dot length and I plus plus system dot out dot println args dot plus I plus. Plus I plus means, see, actually this part is actually printing your args plus c. You see this part is printing the bracket, then we will print the variable value, and then again plus sign, and again we will print the closing bracket. So here are this I plus is within two quotes. That means actually this r gas and opening bracket, opening square bracket is within one quote, then plus again plus I, that means I will be printed, and again in the second part, within quote closing bracket and the colon. Okay, and then what you are printing is the content of the array of the at that location. So from 0 to whatever how many number of whatever number of arguments you pass, it will print r gas 0, then content at r gas 0, r gas 1, then content at r gas 1, etc. Okay, so you can see Java CMD this time. Normally we would have executed it with Java CMD and press enter, but here we can pass some arguments. See, so y2k means year 2000. These are random text. You can pass any number amount of text. So y2k is one piece, then you have to give gap. So whatever gap you give, so every piece before and after gap within that particular segment will be considered as one string. Okay. So after CMD, there are four, one, two, three, four piece of strings are there. Each one of them will be stored in any of the locations of the argas array. So if you give output, if you press enter after 2000 and print them, argas 0 will be y2k, argas 1 will be means, argas 2 will be year, argas 3 will be 2000. Okay, so this is the way you can take arguments from the command. So if you do not specify any command line argument, the above program simply means Java CMD. Okay, and then no, if you just give Java CMD and press enter, because there is no limit of arguments, there is no hard and fast rule that you have to pass arguments. If you don't pass, it will print no command line input. Okay. So here test yourself, find any error in the following code. Last test me public static void main string argas and then system dot println I am not printed. Okay, so just a printed. Now whoever is present today, can anybody point out the error in the particular program? I am asking all of you, whoever is present. Ankumani, are you seeing this?
Sir.
Can you see an error in the piece of code? This class test me. Anywhere you can see an error? Be frank.
Um,
Did you see an error?
Sir, here we need a bracket in
Yes,
string.
R guess. Okay. Here within the main parameter, passive parameter section of the main method, we need somewhere we have to place the square brackets. Okay, and square brackets may be in any of the three forms. Okay. So good one. So you can meet yourself. So next we come to methods. Okay. So apart from the main method, the other methods, the attribute or fields and methods are backbones of a class. In Java, data items are called attributes. Uh, Attributes and methods are the two terms. In C++, data variables and member functions are also used. And a class can have long, short, byte, int, float, double, boolean character, or string type of attribute. A method is a sequence of declaration and executable statements encapsulated together like an independent mini program. So if somebody asks you what is the definition of method, we all know what a method or a function is, but you have to write a method is a sequence of declaration and executable statements encapsulated together like an independent mini program. So whatever you write within that particular piece of code is actually independent program that can be executed together but independent way. Once a method has written and debug, it can be used again and again. The most important aspect of Java. Okay, that is actually called reusability. Why we create procedures or methods? Because we can use them repeatedly. So in Java, every executable statement must be within some method. In OOP, by deciding first what specific action have to be performed and what kind of objects should perform them, the methods may be in two types of form. Predefined method. These are library functions included along with the software. That is integer.parseInt. Okay, parseInt is a method within the integer class. That is an example of a predefined method. And why it is integer.parseInt? Because percent has been declared as a static method. That is why you need not create an instance of class integer and then integer a, you can create new integer and then a dot percent. That is not valid. You can directly use them with integer dot percent. Okay. So user defined function, and these functions are defined and coded by the programmers for a specific purpose in a project. Okay. So whatever functions we create, methods we create, these are actually under the user defined. A typical example is uh, here. Typical example is find the cube of numbers from 1 to n, that is command line argument. So here class cube 1, then within that public static void main string args integer n we declare, and if args dot length equal to 1, that means n equal to integer dot parse args 0. Please remember, we need the argument, command line argument as integer there, because we want to do some mathematical operations or arithmetic operations. But you see, we always declare the argument to be strings because they are to be treated as strings. Okay. So in order to convert them to integer, we convert args 0 to integer with integer dot percent method. So n equal to integer dot percent args 0 will convert the args 0 will be to an integer. Otherwise, if you pass 35, that cannot be mathematically operated. Okay, it is a combination of the characters 3 and 5. Otherwise, but if you convert them to an integer, it will become 35. If you don't convert, example is, suppose you want to add two integers. Uh, if you don't convert them, suppose you want to add 35 and 35 and 5, 35 and 05, it will become 3505. Otherwise, but if you convert them to integer, the sum will be 40. That is the difference. So n equal integer dot percent, then system dot order n cube. Okay, n cube. So I equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus. So whatever number you pass, so slash t n, then I, and then that is n equal to I, that means n equal to 1, then n cube, it will be cube value of I. Okay. So cube value of I will be the calculated cube value of I, that means 1 1 2 8 3 and then 27, etc. That will be printed. Okay. Else system dot order println please give it. Okay, then system dot order. So if you pass one argument, it will process, otherwise it will come to 0. Then we have cube value, then we have to create static in cube value. So we have to create our function in whose parameter will be integer n, and then it will return n into n into n. Okay. So output will be n equal to 1, n cube equal to 1, n equal to 2, n cube equal to 8, n equal to 3, n cube equal to 27, and whatever you pass. Okay. N equal to 10. So whatever parameter you pass, suppose assuming n equal to 10, it will print like. Then we come to the issue of argument passing. Uh, we come to argument passing, and there are two ways of passing arguments to a method: call by value, call by reference. So call by value, that we normally use every time in traditional C, C++ like facility. A method call passes argument by value. The call function creates a new set of variables and copies the values of arguments into them. So why it is called by value? Because if a equal to 4 and the function wants a equal to 4, the original value of a will not be operated. Some new copy of a whose value will be 4 will be created, and then it will be passed to the method. Then whatever the method will do, a equal to 5 may become a equal to 50 also after some operation, but the original value of a will not be touched. So that is why it is called passed by value. The only the value will be passed, not the variable. Okay. So the function work on the copies of the value. So the method does not need to alter the value of the original variable in the calling program. So original value will not be changed. That is the pass by value. Okay, in Java, when you pass simple type of to a method, it is passed by value, that is called call by value. So parameter that receives argument has no effect outside the method. So If suppose say class my function which change integer I equal to I into 20, so it will changing inside the method I equal to I, then it will inside the method I equal to 20. So if you create the class call by val, then within the main my function my f equal to new my function, it will create an instance of the particular class, then integer x equal to 20 println before call x equal to x, and then my function dot change x, and after call x equal to this. Okay, so my function dot change will print inside method I equal to, just hold on student. Nine. Yeah, correct class number. Okay, okay, okay. Ah, ah. Okay, students, your 11:15 class will also be taken by me. So Prasanta sir given me the class, and he will give the class some other time. So I'll continue. Okay, I'll give you a break and then continue. Okay. So what it will happen is there are three print statements will be executed before x equal to this. Then my f dot change x, inside the change function also there will be one printf method, and after that again system dot out after all also x equal to ref. Then if you compile and execute the particular function, then output will be before call x equal to 20, inside method I equal to 20, because 20 into 20 will be 40. Okay, so after call x equal to 20, again x will be changed. Okay, so original value will not be touched, that is the effect of pass by value. Then some characteristics, you see, original value cannot be changed. Then call method gets only a copy of the variable. In Java, all arguments are primitive data types are passed by value, and the copy of argument is maintained at a separate memory location. Okay, so copy will be maintained at a different memory location, not the original location of the variable. Then we come to call by reference. So suppose we would like to change the value of the original variable in the calling program, so which is not possible in call by value. Suppose the original x itself we wanted to be modified, which is not possible this way, present way. So the technique that we have to apply will be call by reference. But please remember that here we don't have, in Java we don't have pointers. Okay. Uh, so we don't have pointers, so what we have to do is a different methodology, but still we can go for call by reference. The simple example here will do the same thing. Suppose class sample test will be there, where integer I will be there, and sample test is an sample test itself is a constructor whose parameter is int j, where I equal to j. So whatever value you will pass, it will be initialized to I. Okay, then we call pass by reference. So void change sample test s. Okay, this time you see we are passing the class itself, so object of the class itself. So s dot I equal to s dot I into 20. So what it will do is, since the object will be parameter, so the objects I value will be taken as objects I value into 20. Okay, so objects I value itself will be modified. So after that we give a print message inside method I equal to s dot I. Okay, so then we class call by ref. So within the class call by ref, we again have the main function, then sample test s1 equal to new of sample test 20. That means value will be passed as 20. So sample test, and before call I, so as but I, so before um, calling we print the s, and it will be 20 itself. Okay, so s dot I change s1, so inside method I will be printed as 20. And after that, after call I s dot I, because s dot I has been modified by the function, that is why after call also x will be printed as, so x or I does not matter, but the value will be 400. Okay, so this is an example where actually we have applied pass by reference. Okay, here the value at the original location is modified without using a pointer. So we often use a term called local variable. So a local variable is a variable that is declared within a method, they can be used on only with in that method, and they cease to exist when the method finishes its execution. So consider the following example, the find the factorial of a given number. So the local variable is actually within a method and its scope is within the method itself. So here is a class fact1 where public static void main string I guess for integer I equal to 0, then I less than 5, I plus plus, I equal to I plus fact of I. Okay. So here what is happening is actually um, then static integer here what in for loop what is happening is I equal to then I value then factorial of I equal to. So I equal to 0, factorial of I is 0 equal to 1. So the number and the corresponding factorial has been printed, okay, for 0 to 5. Okay, and then static integer f. So f is another method where integer f equal to 1, and while n greater than 1 f equal to f into n minus minus. Okay, that means f into uh, initially it will be f, then f into then n greater than 1 f into n and n minus 1. Okay, and return f. So this particular function will be created, will be equally uh, calculating factorial, whose example we have already seen. But what happens is actually value of the local variable. Okay, so what will happen is, suppose we find 4 factorial, which will be 4, 3, 2, 1, which will be 24. So why the while loop invoke f method 5 times. Okay, if I equal to 3, then it is passed to n. Inside the method, the variable f is initialized to 1 and then successfully multiplied by 3 and then change its value n 2, change its value 3, 6 and 6, and before the while loop stops. So the current value 6 is returned. So what happens is, although some value will be passed, then inside the variable f will be reinitialized. Okay, so that is why after reinitialization, every time it come to a new value to be multiplied, and ultimately the factorial is calculated. Recursion we have already studied in our laboratory class in much detail, so I am not sparing some time in recursion. Rather, I'll directly come to the term polymorphism. So polymorphism, it's an important property. So there are two important properties in sorry, two important properties in object-oriented programming: encapsulation and polymorphism. Okay, so polymorphism is the ability of a single object to operate on many different types. The polymorphic methods are methods that do not care which variables types are passed to them. The println statement Java is example of polymorphic method because you can pass any type of variable to them and they always act appropriately. So polymorphism means actually ability to run in many different ways. Okay, so a function, polymorphic function uh, can run in many different ways, and how to achieve this is actually called polymorphism. Okay. Java has provision of creating user-defined polymorphic methods. Okay, so apart from system-defined polymorphic methods, for example, println, so x equal to 10, integer x equal to 10 and println x, it will also print. Then system dot outer println, so string x it will also print. Then double x it will also print. So println is a good example of a polymorphic method. But apart from the user-defined, system-defined methods, the user also can define polymorphic methods. Okay, now Java has the provision of creating user-defined polymorphic methods. Java makes it possible for programmers to simplify their code with polymorphism in three different ways. Okay, so three ways to have polymorphism: overloading, inheritance, and interface. Okay, first we will see for overloading. Operator overloading, function overloading is actually function overloading is a good example of polymorphism. And apart from that, polymorphism that is also achievable by inheritance and intervention. So far as overloading methods is concerned, very simple. You define one method in three different ways. They will be called overloaded methods. So methods defined multiple times, each definition having the same name but accepting different parameters either in name or parameters or type. Okay, so what we have to keep in mind is that we can keep the method name same, but the parameter list must be different. Okay, parameter list must be different either in number or parameter type. That means either the total number of parameters should be different in the two cases, suppose you are having two different forms, or the number of parameters may be same but the type of parameter. For example, suppose add into x into y, then you can have another function add in x into y in z. Here they are all data type is same but their number of parameters is different, or if you want to keep them same, so int x into y, then you can have another function add float x float y, that will also be a different version, or string x string y, then these are also another version, but total number of parameter is also same and the parameter data types are also same, that cannot be. For example, no matter you define int x into y and then in the second function int a int b, that will not be accepted. Okay, so class overload is an example. So void print character. Void print character is a default, I mean no parameter function. So for integer I, for integer I equal to 0 and I less than 10, I plus plus system dot out dot print a. So a will be printed 10 times. That's all. And then print character c. In this case, we are passing one character. Okay. For integer I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus system dot out dot print ln c. So c is print. Whatever character you pass this time, in the first case, default character is a, that will be printed 10 times. In the second case, character c, whatever character you pass, that will be printed 10 times. And in the third case, print character in k in c, here whatever character you pass with number of times, that is equal to a. Okay, earlier in the two previous cases the number of times is 10 in both the two cases, but here number of times is defined by the user. So these are the three different versions of the same function print character. And then class poly is an example for testing polymorphism, that is the poly is used. And then public static void main string args. So overload o equal to new overload. Okay, the class name was overload, so object is created, then no argument o dot print character, then system dot print one argument o dot print character b, dot b will be printed 10 times, system, and in the third case two argument o dot print character 5 and c, so c will be 5 times. Okay, so output is no argument a 10 times, one argument b 10 times, and two arguments c. Okay, similarly we can have class arithmetic, where integer a, then return a plus a, in integer int a in b, that means return a plus b, and within main we can use them as x equal to ar. So ar is the class object name of the particular class arithmetic, then ar dot add 2, then 2 plus 2 will be 4, then y equal to ar dot add 2 and 3, it will be automatically called. So x plus y equal to, that is plus y, that means x plus y equal to 5, 2 plus 3 equal to 5. So what happens in the above program, if the method take one argument, then addition is done with the same number. That means automatically one argument method will be called. If it takes two arguments, the addition is done with the two argument. That means the two argument function of the same name will be automatically called. If both methods has the same name, only difference is in number of arguments. So number of argument is different, their data type is also same inside parameter. So some other parameter program is also there, you can check. Okay, int x poly x1 x equal to x1, then int mul integer y return x into y, then float mul float y, then return float of x into y, then double mul return x into y, etc. So these are different version of the same function. They multiply itself, there are different versions. And then within the class polymorph test, then poly m equal to new poly 100, then multiplying an integer m dot multiply 10. So using that integer one, and then multiplying a float, m dot multiply 2.7 float, and then system of dot println multiply double m dot mul 2.8. So every time three different functions of the same name will be automatically. Okay. Then we come to constructor overloading. So constructor overloading I want to keep for the next class, because I am starting taking another class at 11:15. And our meeting time is also running out. So let us start another class at 11:15 or so. Before that, I'll take the attendance for first class. Please respond to your roles. I see Ankumani Devmari present.
Sir.
Ankumani. Then I see Changlim. Changlim, are you present? Changlim, are you there? David Remo. David. David, are you present?
Present, sir.
Jitul Kumar, are you present?
Present, sir.
Lupnu.
Present, sir.
Neha Sharma.
Present, sir.
Neil Ratan. Saidur.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Wilson.
Sir.
Wilson.
Present, sir.
Okay, so let us take a break. Come back at 11:15. We'll have some more discussion. Okay, I think that's all for now. We can take a break. Okay.